Well, what do we have here? We have some new launch options for your podcast from Apple. That's right, Apple are making our lives a little bit easier, and I'm going to just talk to you about that and just add a little bit of context to it as well. Here on the Podcast Accelerator today, I am Mark Asquith, of course, that British podcast guy, and CEO and co-founder here at Rebel Base Media, where we make podcasting products, including Captivate, FM, the world's only growth-oriented podcast host, where you can host multiple podcasts for one simple cost. No more paying for different feeds. No more paying for extra team members. No more paying for advanced analytics. God. Take your business models out of 2005, everyone. Please, come on. We can do better than this. That is why you need to be looking at Captivate.fm. So please go and check that out right now. Okay, so we are going to talk about Apple's email because, well, last week they popped out a nice little email letting us know that there are now some new launch options that we've got when it comes to putting our show live in Apple Podcasts. So I'm going to talk about those in a second. But of course, a big shout out to the wonderful team at AWeber who are continually helping me to engage with you, my fantastic listener. I appreciate you. And the easiest way for me to get in touch with you and to talk to you and to let you know what's going on is to send you email. But of course, that email has to be deliverable. It has to make sure that it's spam free. It's got to make sure that it gets to your inbox at the right time. And that is what AWeber helps me to do. So please, if you aren't engaging with your listeners via this kind of mechanism, using the best in the business, which I believe is AWeber, then you are missing a trick. So please go and check it out, markasquith.com/AWeber. Right, Apple Podcasts is getting more and more updates recently. And as 2020 rolls around, I've got no doubt at all that the team at Apple are lining up more and more sweet features for us. Some pretty big stuff, I'm fairly sure of it. So, what have they just done with this new podcast launch function? Well, out on the 13th of November, they sent out an email, and it reads, basically, to paraphrase it, along the lines of, we've made some upgrades to Podcasts Connect, which is their kind of dashboard. You know, it's their submission process. It's their submission area and their podcast management area for their directory. So as podcasters, we log into our Podcasts Connect account and we manage our podcasts in Apple over there. And if you're a Captivate user, you know, of course, we link directly to that. So what they've done is they've actually launched this new idea where you can manage show launches. So here's what happens, and we get this a lot with Captivate, and there's still so much interesting advice out there about how to launch a podcast. Some of it pretty dated, you know, launch with 5 shows, work the algorithms, not a little bit old school. But I get why people do it. Sure, you know, the algorithms still exist. But what people used to do is they used to basically launch with a trailer. So in fact, let me rewind a second. What used to happen is inside your RSS feed, it basically means that you have got to have an episode live in your RSS feed. So with Captivate, say you publish with Captivate, you've got to launch with an episode. So when you send your RSS feed to Apple for approval, there has to be an episode in there. They look for an enclosure tag, and that enclosure tag is essentially an episode inside your RSS feed. So you have to launch with something. But the problem was people were bricking it. Like, people really kick off at this. Like, we've had support requests in, people really getting upset. I got one last week. People really getting upset by some of the advice that they've been receiving from, I don't know, it must be courses or something online. People saying, right, launch with 5 episodes, launch with 3 episodes, work the algorithm, max out that new and noteworthy 88 days, blah, 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 blah. I get it, fine. But what was happening is that you'd submit to Apple, and people would say, well, I don't want to launch with 5 episodes. I don't want to launch with any episodes. I just want to launch and then kind of do some marketing around it later, which is obviously bloody sensible. Like, okay, finally, common sense is prevailing in podcasting. That is the right way to do it. Launch and market, pre-launch, market, build the buzz, launch, generate some real listeners. Okay, so what you used to have to do is you used to have to submit with 1 episode, which you still have to do. We recommend that's a trailer. Go and search for my name, Mark Asquith, and trailer format if you want to steal my trailer format. So we recommend that you launch with a trailer. But what used to happen is that you couldn't really control when Apple would put your show inside Apple Podcasts. So what I mean by that is that they would work generally on a 5-day turnaround. You know, sometimes they get to that a little quicker. We've had shows approved in a day. And what would happen is that they would see your RSS feed. They will manually review it. They still manually review the show, which I think is great. And what they do is they'll look at the show and they'll say, yep, you're in. And then 24 hours later, they would essentially include your show inside Apple Podcast search results and so on and so forth in the directory. So What they've done now is they've made it so that you can stop that launch happening. So they've made it so inside Podcast Connect, what you can do is you can submit your podcast. So you still need a trailer. You still need at least one episode in there. I recommend launching with that trailer. If you want to take some of the old school advice and launch with 372,000 episodes to work the algorithms, fine, that's up to you. But I recommend launching with a trailer and doing some pre-marketing around that trailer. Maybe having an episode or two in there that people can then binge a little bit. Forget the algorithms. Think about the listener, all right, for God's sake. But regardless of how you want to launch, you can put one episode in there, the trailer. You can submit to Apple Podcasts, and what that will do is it will mean that they just go through the normal review process, but now you've got a button that you can click, or you've got an area that you can click that will say, hide this podcast from Apple Podcasts. Now, according to the Apple email, that won't stop the process of the review. So it's not like you're saying, whoa, no, don't review this for inclusion. What it will do is it means that they will still review your show, they will approve your show, and then they will tell you that you're approved, but then you can choose when to launch. So let's say that, all right, today is 22nd of November. Let's say you want to launch on the 1st of December. You could submit, you get your show ready. You can submit that show today. You can build your pre-marketing, you can build your launch, you can build all the buzz around it, and you've got a week's grace to be able to build that. They spend 5 days reviewing it. They'll let you know when it's live. All you need to do then is on the 30th of November, unhide, go to Podcast Connect, unhide your show, and within 24 hours of the date that you specify, it will be live in Apple Podcasts. So if you want to launch on December the 1st, you just unhide it November the 30th. Okay? It will take 24 hours to go into the directory. This is a far better way of doing it. Far better way of doing it, because what that means is that you can now plan your launch. The date that you launch is on your terms. It's not just, Apple have approved it, how long is it going to take? It's a huge, huge thing, all right? It really is a big thing. There are some questions out there about whether this affects the Apple API or not. I know James Cridland, one of our Captivate advisors, and a lot of our Captivate team are investigating this, talking to the Apple Podcast team about what this does with the API. So we talked about the Apple Podcast API in a previous episode. Does this hiding it from Apple Podcasts stop places like Overcast getting it until you specify? You would hope the answer is yes, because you want the launch to be kind of symbiotic. You want it to be in sync, okay? So you would hope that would be the case, but until we know a little bit more, we're not quite sure, okay? So check it out. You will have the email if you're in Apple Podcasts, if you've got an iTunes Podcast Connect account, you will have the email if you've got podcasts out there. If you don't have podcasts out there, that's great. Just know that now you don't have to worry about when Apple approves things. You can just dive in and essentially say, right, okay, I'm going to submit for approval at any point, and I'm going to launch on my terms. So well done, Apple. I think this is a huge move. Well played. Really good stuff. Well impressed. We're going to find out a little bit more about the API, what that affects. I might do a bit of a bonus episode or an update on that. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's a great move. They also dropped some notes for delayed submission times as well, review times essentially, because, holidays are coming up. So November the 22nd to December the 2nd is Thanksgiving. Might have to just wait a little bit longer for them to approve your show within that time frame. And then December the 23rd to January the 2nd as well. Some delays there. Obviously, it's Christmas, okay? So if you want to get your show approved, get it submitted, just remember those 2 periods of time, 22nd of November to December the 2nd and 23rd of December to January the 2nd. You'll probably see some delays during that period, so just work around that, all right? So well done, Apple. Well impressed. Nice work to all the team working there. Really, really good stuff. Until the next time, thank you for joining me. Do check out Captivate.fm for your hosting, analytics, and marketing needs. And until the next time, never forget, the more you expect from yourself, the more you will excel.